What is up, my viewers and subscribers? Now, before I start, in my last video I wasn't in a very chipper mood. I was kind of depressed and down on my luck and all that. I was feeling kind of down, and the reason why was because there was a video where I kind of got badly hurt, and I felt like there was something I could have done about it to redeem myself. But don't worry, I'll redeem myself. But due to the demands of a man who shall remain nameless, I cannot fully redeem myself. So and also this video that I'm this topic that I'm about to talk about is something I was supposed to do last night, but I kept leaving out dialogue, and the camera was all wonky and all that stuff. But I think this is going to be a good night for me, hopefully. And I have a list of things. This video is going to be called Things I Miss from the late 90s and early to mid 2000s. Okay, first off, the wrestling. Top tier guys that shared the spotlight. Unlike a man nowadays, a certain superhero type that likes to bury everyone every single month. They had people like Triple H and Undertaker, and people like The Rock, Steve Austin. All those people, they would often put others over to make their feuds more believable and all that. But the way John Cena does it now, it's like, why does he keep saying he's overcoming the odds? He's not overcoming anything. He is the guy that everyone tries to overcome. He is the guy that everyone tries to take out. And it's like, who can stop him? And with John Cena winning Money in the Bank, obviously he's gonna win it. And cash it in cleanly, because he's Super Cena, and he can't do anything heelish, not right now. And so whatever. Just give it to Chris Jericho or somebody. I wouldn't mind them giving it to Big Show either, just to rub it in Cena's face. Haha, you didn't. Not only did you win, but you got Big Show either. I just want that to happen. Whatever. And then, there's this rumor going around about him wanting to be a 20-time champion, and I'm just like, why not let him beat The Undertaker then? Why not let him just whoop on every legend? Just have every legend try to gang up on him, and then he beats the tar out of all of them. Why not just end the legacy of your company right now? Just let Cena be the record breaker of everything, because it's gonna happen. John Cena has officially become the center of the WWE universe, and I've had enough of it. The only reason why I'm still watching is because of Brock Lesnar, and he's gonna get buried again, so whatever. They had divas that mattered, like Lita, Trish Stratus, Mickie James, Victoria, who is now known as Tara in TNA. It's called Impact Wrestling now. Just change it back. I don't know. But, yeah, divas that mattered. Women's wrestlers, as well, like China. China was the only woman to ever win the Intercontinental Championship. And no other woman has held that title. So, yeah. You know, whatever. And, yeah. High flyers that did real stunts. You know, like high flyers that didn't just do an elbow drop. People that did like things like, well, most of the real high flyers are on either NXT or Superstars. You don't see any real high flyers that often on Raw or SmackDown anymore. You know, people that did shooting star presses and, people that did 450s. Now, Kofi Kingston is a high flyer, but I'm talking about, you know, I'm not just talking about him. He is one of the only real high flyers left on the main roster. Technical wrestlers that didn't get buried. People, you know, like Chris Jericho, Dean Malenko, William Regal even. You know, and I don't want to offend anybody, but people like Chris Benoit, yes, he killed his whole family, and he doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. That is true. But just, you know, just don't question his abilities just because of his personal life. What goes on in the ring should stay in the ring and should not cross over, and should not, you know, that should not cross up for what he does outside of the ring. It should not cross up with any of that stuff. Leave the wrestling in the ring and keep the personal things personal. This whole controversy has got to stop. Enough. We all know that Chris Benoit had problems, and we all know that he's probably not in a very good place right now. We all know that. Enough. But all kinds of people. And today's technical wrestlers, Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan is constantly buried by people like CM Punk and Kane, and he is constantly tossed aside, and he loses every month. Whenever he is in a big situation, he never wins. And I wanted WrestleMania to be his redeeming moment, but they screwed it up by giving him an 18-second loss. That's just stupid. Why? What's the point? To bury someone that is on your roster? Forget the fact that he came from ROH. Vince McMahon obviously only likes people that he created himself. We get that. I get that. I get the fact that Vince McMahon only likes guys he created himself. But, you know, seriously, stop burying your talent. Like, stop burying your technical talent. And Daniel Bryan has great charisma. That is, if he would stop using the same stupid catchphrase every 20 seconds. Yes! 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 20 fucking times. Do we need to hear it that much? That's worse than saying, what? What? That's worse. You know, and another thing, before I move on, Daniel Bryan has actually lost 2 belts to Sheamus. How ironic and convenient that at 2 WrestleManias, he lost 2 belts to Sheamus. Last WrestleMania, he wasn't even in. He wasn't even on the show. He was in a dark match, and he lost the U.S. title. This WrestleMania, this last WrestleMania, he lost the World Heavyweight Championship in an opener. An 18-second opener, really? It's just stupid. A mid-card division that mattered. People, like, all kinds of mid-carders used to be featured and they used to be showcased prominently. All kinds of people. Perry Saturn, Mark Henry, all kinds of people. Chris Jericho at one point. Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, Edge and Christian. Speaking of which, tag teams that mattered, and real tag teams, not these made up, randomly selected people, like randomly put together people. Yeah, for those of you who are primetime fans, yeah, those people don't belong together. Okay? How does this work? These 2 guys started out as enemies, and they absolutely hated each other's guts. And now, they're best of friends. How does that work? That's just stupid. And the fact that they randomly paired Evan Bourne and Kofi Kingston, which I was actually kind of getting into that tag team, Air Boom. But now they have Kofi Kingston and R-Truth, because apparently smoking fake weed is a federal offense. Yeah. Great job on that, Nice. All kinds of, like, randomly paired people. People like Kurt Hawkins and Tyler Rex, really? The only legitimate tag team on the whole roster is actually the Usos, because they worked together for years. They had been working together for years. And it's kind of sad, because they actually had a chance to get the titles when they had that feud with the Hart Dynasty, but the Hart family had just started getting popular again, and they didn't want to ruin that by taking the titles away. But they got taken away anyways later on. I don't remember how. I think it was, I believe it was Jericho, yeah. And that's kind of messed up, because once again, randomly paired people, and hey, the only reason why Big Show was Jericho's partner. Wait, not Jericho. I think it was originally Jericho and Edge, and then Jericho came later because Edge was injured, and apparently they have this thing where the little guy has to be teamed up with a big guy, because the little guy can't do anything on his own. So he needs a big guy to throw cheap shots. So, moving on, mid-card titles that mattered. Mid-card titles that people cared about and that were featured prominently. Each month you'd get a mid-card title match. The best time to be a wrestling fan was, quite frankly, from 1997 to 2005. To me, that was the best time to be a wrestling fan, because that's when I started watching wrestling, was in like 1997, and I've been watching since then for about 15 years, and so yeah. The women's title was better. The women's title was much better than the Divas title, and it brought out the best in the Divas, and it made Divas work harder. And when the women's title existed, they didn't have these 10-second clusterfucks. Okay, they had real matches with legitimate victories. So that's it for that subject. Video games. Video games. Ones that challenged the gamer. Not hold their hand throughout the whole thing with fancy features and, you know, arrows that go, the objective is that way, or whatever. They had maps, yes they did, but they didn't lead you right toward them with a golden line that didn't work half the time. They had epic plots and, boss battles that included strategy. I'll give you an example. Fable. Very epic plot. And most of the boss battles included strategy. Boss battles like fighting twin blades and things like the boss battle with Jack of Blades the first time. You had to wait until the burning light went away and then you could shoot him with an arrow, but you had to do it quickly or he would shoot you down. So yeah, I played all kinds of games like Ape Escape and Mario and Page Master and all kinds of games like Sonic, and I played several Simpsons games in my time. Two of the best ones in my opinion was Simpsons Road Rage and Hit and Run. Those were, good. And Hit and Run was one of the best ones to me because it was the first time that they had a free roam feature in a Simpsons game. Most of the other games were level based kinds of games, and you could only do missions and not just roam around whenever you wanted to. I actually played the Rugrats game when I was little, and it's where you can play out certain episodes from the series, and when you've completed all of the episodes, you can unlock a secret mission. You can unlock a secret like a secret level, sort of. I used to love watching the show when I was little, and I even watched the spin-off called Grown Up. That was kind of good, that was pretty good. The games were very good, like Rampage. Games today are very simple. Games like Fable 2 and 3, where you you know, your character literally cannot die ever. You can try to get your character killed, but he'll just bounce back up. You know, there is no game over in that game. Even if you think you failed, you haven't. There is actually a quest where you have to save this guy from a cave. But if he dies anyways, it's all good. You had to tell his grandmother that he died on your watch. In Fable 1, there's a similar quest that you have to do that involves a little boy. And in it, if the little boy dies, you fail. So, fuck Fable 2 and its stupid logic. Oh yeah, go ahead and kill that guy. I don't care. I don't care if he dies because I'll still pass the quest. So you can't die, and it doesn't matter if anyone else around you dies because you passed the quest anyways. What kind of stupid shit is that? And the plot is so stupid. The mere fact that at the very end, the boss battle isn't even that hard. The very end where all you have to do is use a music box and shoot the guy. And if you don't, it doesn't matter anyways because someone else will shoot him for you. It's just stupid. It's retarded to me, and I apologize for using that word. But it's just really dumb. I can't believe that I actually played that game without puking because it was that bad. And Fable, the Lost Chapters, was pretty much one of the only 99% perfect games that I have ever played. I swear to God. One of the best ones. It's sad that games like that don't exist anymore, you know. And with Fable 4 coming out in I think 2013 or 14, it's gonna be hard to live up to the standards that video games have created in their minds. You know, that thought that you get right before you play a game and you think it's gonna be really good. Acid reflex. You think that it's gonna be really good and then it's like, oh fuck man, what the hell did I just play? Why is it like this? Why? Fable 3, same thing, but at least the boss battle doesn't have such a simple ending. You actually fight the final boss. But it's all just downgraded garbage, you know? Give us a challenge. Stop holding our hands like we're 5 years old, you know? Stop giving us games that we can beat within a fucking week. Or possibly a day if we wanted. It's just stupid. You know, games like WW12 piss me off. Can that game get any more downgraded? Come on, the moves that you are now able to do in fucking, you know, free brawl. Free brawl is such downgraded garbage. You can't even do finishers. It's been, you know, downgraded to only a few simple attacks. And it's just repetitive nonsense. You know, we want I want variety. I want simple, like I just want variety. That's all I want. I just want variety, not repetitive garbage. That's not, that's not the way to do it. And the fact that they alluded to free brawling on their show, WWE had John Cena and Kane do a free brawl segment on Raw last year. Last year, they had a free brawl segment. Yeah. So basically what they're saying is, because of what the show has become, the games have to be like that now. Because THQ doesn't know how to make a game without copying off of the show, without taking things from the show and putting it in the game. They don't know how to do that. 2008 and 2010 to me were the last great games. 2009 and 11 sucked. And WWE 12 sucks. One main reason: the kickout system is completely downgraded and it's too complicated. Why do I have to press A and try to, why do I have to press A and try to reach the kickout zone, but then I pass it up and then I don't kick out? That's just retarded. Apologize for using that word again, but it's nonsense. So enough with that subject, moving on. Old school South Park. Old school South Park, from 1995, I think, to around 2004. Old school South Park was, it was funny. It was humorous, it was comical, and it was simple. Today's South Park is too fancy, Cartman is too political. He's not funny at all. Most of his catchphrases are non-existent. And the repetitive deaths of Kenny are sorely lacking in this new South Park. It's ridiculous. Stories are cheap and lame. They actually had a story where Cartman would pair people up based on what color they were. Really. And doing something creating a story based on something as topical as listening to people while zip lining or something, going on a zip lining tour or something. We all hate communicating with people we don't know. We all can't stand that. But why do you have to make fun of it? Why do you have to poke fun of something like that? It's just cheap. Also, at first I was sad. At first I was sad and confused that South Park no longer had Chef, until I found out that Isaac Hayes had died years back. And now I understand that, Isaac Hayes was the guy that played Chef, and now he's dead, and now I understand why Chef is no longer a part of South Park. But I miss Chef, because he would always sing these perverted songs and sooner or later you knew that one of the boys would have to yell to get his attention. And, you know, they would always ask him these questions, and Chef would, you know, tell them. And my favorite moment was when Chef got pissed off because he was like, "You're gonna get me in trouble with the principal again." And then I think it was James Taylor or somebody. He was singing with James Taylor, and the principal economy is like, "James Taylor, what the hell are you doing in my kitchen? You know, what the hell are you doing in my kitchen singing about prostitutes to the children?" I think it was that James Taylor, and that's funny, you know. And Chef 8 was a good episode. Chef's chocolate salty balls, you know, that was a good episode because, you know, the pun for that, you know, the metaphor, that was a good metaphor, a good pun, whatever. I don't know what it is, but you know, Chef was funny, and Chef was a great character. It's just sad that they'll never have Chef again because no one else can play Chef but Isaac Hayes, and he's dead. Rest in peace. You know, most of the characters are tossed aside. When South Park has an episode, you rarely ever get to see Mackie. You rarely ever get to see Mr. Garrison anymore. Wendy is rarely in the episodes, except for the new one. She's in that, but only for like a couple scenes. And you know, like Ike is hardly in the episodes anymore. Basically, they're, you know, condensing the episodes down to about 4 or 5 characters each episode. You know, it's mostly lazy. Most of it is lazy and cheap and sometimes immature. Now, South Park has been known to be a little immature, but now they try to make you think they're maturing a little bit more, but it's just stupid. Like I said, most of it is too political, and they're trying to act all grown up, and it's just not working. You know, like I said, too fancy. You know, the campy South Park is the one that I liked. The campy South Park, with the exception of the South Park movie, because that was a very good movie, very funny, very well made, and very thought out and scripted. A great script. Could have done without all the show tunes, of course, but yeah. So yeah, it was very good. And one other thing that I missed from South Park, where are all the holiday specials? The last holiday special they had so far was the Thanksgiving episode, and that was even stupid. Come on, really? Alien Thanksgiving? That's just stupid. You know, mocking the Pilgrims and Indians, well, Native Americans, as they are called now because of the confusion with the other Indians. Native Americans. Indians and Native American. Sorry about that. But Pilgrims and Native Americans, you know, they was poking fun of them, talking about they were aliens. It's just stupid. So enough of that subject. Here's something else I miss. Movie rental stores, movie/game rental stores. You know, this thing, you know, stores like
stores like, you know, Movie Gallery and Blockbuster and Wildcat Video. Stores like, you know, Family Movie and all that stuff. I miss that. Renting is just too convenient now. You can literally walk outside and go to your mailbox and there they are, your DVDs. I miss your DVDs, or games I should say, and I miss being able to you know, I miss having to ride to town to rent these games or movies and scrolling, like, you know, walking around the shelves trying to figure out what I want to rent. I miss doing that. It's just all too convenient, you know. You know, TV shows. Most TV shows today are random. But the TV shows that used to be on had deeper meaning and epic moments, and most of them didn't deserve to get canceled the way they did. Things, you know, shows like Heroes, it got canceled before its 5th season, and they alluded to a 5th season. It said Book 6 at the end, Book 6, A Brave New World, and then it got canceled. I just find that, you know, a little unsettling, a little off-putting. It's really not right. And I know I'm probably gonna catch heat for this, but The Cape was a good show, and it got canceled before the 1st season was even over. So yeah, No Ordinary Family, that was a good show, and it got canceled after its 1st season. And they had a main villain, but then it got canceled. So yeah. And the last subject, stand-up specials. I miss these stand-up specials, like the Blue Collar Comedy Tour, when, you know, the Cat Williams specials, Chris Rock, Frank Caliendo, Joe Rogan, Patton Oswalt, D.L. Hughley, all kinds of other people. Like, I miss all that stuff, and they even have a Blue Collar Next Generation, because they're not getting back together. The original Blue Collar guys are not getting back together, and that's sad, because that's the kind of comedy that I grew up with, along with those other guys, and it's really sad. Yeah, I guess that's the end of my video. Sorry if it seemed like I was rushing through it, but you know, that's it for me. I am Mike Wayne, aka Rebel 180. Rate and comment your thoughts about the video. Tell me what you missed from the late 90s and early to mid 2000s. So long for now.